With 86-degree temperatures, it may not feel like it, but fall is officially here, which means rye season is about to be in full swing. And I've got a rye from a craft distillery that might surprise you guys. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Hi guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey, the internet's most okayest whiskey review channel. I'm your host, T-Rod. If you're new here, hopefully you're not a Packers fan, because that would be unfortunate. But if you're a returning viewer, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Took another peek at the analytics, and it looks like most of you guys are afraid to hit that button. Don't be. You get a nice little pop-up notification every time I drop new content, and then you can end up right back here with all the cool kids. So, that being said, if any of you are from the Midwest, it's early October. Usually that means, the air's getting a little bit more crisp. The leaves are starting to change colors. Fall air is starting to move around a little bit, but it's not. None of those things are happening. It was 86 degrees today. It is warm. But regardless, my body is telling me it is time to start drinking some rye whiskey. And we decided to go out last night, and one of the places that we like to go to is Motor City Gas. Now, Motor City Gas is a true farm-to-table, grain-to-glass, whatever you want to call it, craft distillery located in the heart of downtown Royal Oak. And we went there, we grabbed some cocktails, and I was, thanks to the generosity of the owner, able to get a hold of a bottle of their Versa 23 rye whiskey, which was a very, very limited release that they're no longer selling. I think they have a few bottles left in the tasting room. But what this is, so this is a straight rye whiskey aged 5 years, coming in at 111 proof. And it is rye whiskey barrel aged with apricots. Now, some of you are going to say, like that's an abomination or, oh, blasphemy. Well, I've had it before, and I got into this particular bottle last night, and it's actually pretty okay. And by pretty okay, I mean damn tasty. It's, to my knowledge, 100% Michigan rye, because remember, everything is grown here in Michigan and then carted over to the distillery where they make the whiskey, barrel it up, and then age it there on site. Their barrel house and their distillery are all right there in Royal Oak, which is kind of really cool. The first time I ever went there, they actually walked me through and gave me a little tour. But what we're going to do, I got my Glencairn ready to go, and we're going to taste it. So this is not exactly a fresh pop, but I can tell you guys that it has been open just under 24 hours. So it's got a really nice golden, ambery, kind of bronzish color, like with just a tinge of red to it. Go ahead and get that coat in the Glen all nice. Swirl, swirl, swirl. For those of you guys who aren't paying attention, the Lions won again today. Went into Cincinnati and put a whooping on the Bengals. So go Lions. Very happy about that. All right, let's get into the nose. Yeah, okay. Dried apricots and oak. Rye spice. Yeah, that's, well, maybe a little bit of caramel. But it's predominantly like a dried apricot and then like barrel char on the nose. Some rye spice, a little bit of caramel, maybe just a little bit of nutmeg is in there too. But it's a really inviting nose. It smells really good. It doesn't smell ultra proofy on the nose either, which is really cool. I always love it when I stick my nose into a glass and then blow out my palate sniffing it. That's always fun. But this is approachable. This welcomes you in. So oh wow, look at how viscous that is. I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera or not, just how runny, how well developed those legs are, but we're gonna go in for a taste. So cheers. All right, everybody knows the rules. I'm gonna try and pull tasting notes on that first sip, but I like it. Okay. All right, here we go. I like that. I do. Nice potent rye spice comes through. Like a stewed apricot note. A little bit of like a vanilla cream cookie that I'm getting. No caramel sweetness, very little barrel char. That rye spice is there, but it's not the star of the show. The fruit is, the apricot is. Which is kind of different, but not unexpected given the way that this was aged. And at 5 years, this is a fairly well-matured rye whiskey. It's not youthy at all. It's got good body to it, decent complexity. And I'm going to say it actually drinks lighter than the 111 proof. I would say this was no more than 100 proof if I was just drinking it right off the rip. And I have not been drinking it today. This is my first sip of the day, or first pour rather. But it's good. You can definitely taste everything you're expecting. The apricot, the rye spice, a little bit of oak, some vanilla sweetness, a little bit of a graham cracker you kind of know. It's kind of why I said the vanilla cream cookies. It's not quite like the blonde Oreos. It's not that sweet, but it's like those dollar store vanilla cream cookies where, you know, the filling isn't quite as sweet. It's not quite as much vanilla, but the cracker is still, you know, there. And the finish is nice. You know, it's got a subtle apricot note that just hangs on, and it's just that dried fruit note, that dried apricot note. You know, you go to like the health food store and they've got just like all the dried fruits sitting there. This is exactly what that tastes is, like dried apricots. So, I think these retailed when they were being sold for like $59.99, so like $60. No, $64.99, $65. So you're getting a craft whiskey finished with apricots or aged with apricots, cask strength. This was bottle 227 of only 254, so a fairly limited run, and it's like $65. That's a buy on site for you, bud. That's good stuff. So, I can't really ask for a whole lot more out of this. I'm going to give this maybe a 7.4. I'm going to say 7.4 on this. I think it's mature. I think it's characterful. I think it delivers everything that you're expecting when you go into it. But it doesn't have, you know, that youthy heat that kind of blows the top off of everything. I think it's well-rounded. It's thought out and well-aged. I think, you know, if you would have aged this a little bit more, you would have risked the oak kind of overpowering some of the fruit notes. I think this is really well done. This is exactly what they were probably aiming for, and I congratulate them on hitting the bullseye on this one because it's really good. You know, the bartender gave me this yesterday, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this was set aside for you by the owner." And a couple guys at the bar are like, "Well, who are you?" And you know, I'm nobody special, which is exactly right. I just happen to have a YouTube channel, but I am very, very glad I was able to get a bottle of this. I'm very glad I was able to review it. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. But that's where I'm at with it. 7.4. I think it's a very good pour. If they do a release of this again, I would highly recommend anybody that's able to, you know, get over to Motor City Gas. Even if it's not for this release, they have some super, super cool stuff. They have a 12-grain malted whiskey. They've got a mezcal finished rye. I got a 10-year-old rye whiskey from them that's finished in apple brandy casks. They had a release a couple years ago that I did not get, and if it ever gets released again, I would love to get my hands on a bottle. It's called Bump and Grind, and it's their bourbon that's finished in a coffee barrel, and that just sounds absolutely amazing. So would definitely grab that if you guys put another one out. But that's what I've got, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.